Alright, what's going on, you guys? Brian here, and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully everyone is staying safe, staying healthy, staying strong out there in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. Um, like I said, hopefully everyone is staying safe, staying healthy, staying strong, using social distancing. I know a lot of states have placed bans, and now in certain states they have placed bans where you cannot even go from residence to residence. You can't even go and visit family. So hopefully, like I said, everyone is staying safe, staying healthy, staying strong through this, and we will get through this. Tonight was MLW Fusion, and this is going to be my quick recap of what went down. So it took place in Tijuana, Mexico. This was week one of the MLW AAA Super Series, and both companies tied with one apiece. So let's just get right into it. We started off the show with a Tijuana Barrio Street Fight Brawl. It was a tag team match with Mortiz and Pagano representing AAA, defeating Savio Vega and Mance Warner representing MLW. And what I thought was a really what you would expect from a street fight hardcore match. One of the most insane parts in this match was when Mance Warner chokeslammed Mortiz through a flaming table. Um, this match also saw interference from current MLW National Openweight Champion Alex Hammerstone of the Dynasty, getting a little bit of revenge and costing Mance Warner this match. Even though Mance did not get pinned, Savio Vega got pinned, but Alex Hammerstone getting revenge on Mance Warner for Warner um, forcing MJF out of MLW by what happened last week when Mance Warner defeated MJF of the Dynasty in a loser leaves MLW empty arena match. So obviously those two are going to be on a collision course sometime down the line. Also on this episode, we heard from Filthy Tom Lawler of Team Filthy. He talked about how Major League Wrestling suspended King Mo for his actions a few weeks ago when he used a baseball bat on Killer Kross. He also talked about how him and Dominic Guarini are going to be joining the MLW Tag Team Division, and their first targets are going to be to going after the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross Von Erich. So we had a lifestyle of the rich and the dynastic, featuring the two members of the dynasty, that being Alex Hammerstone and Richard Holiday, talking about their trip down south of the border. We had a recap of the top 10 contenders for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. Alex Hammerstone is currently ranked at number 1. He is also the current National Openweight Champion, and he would defend his title on tonight's episode, and I'll get into that in just a moment. We heard from Injustice, the trio of Cato Brazil, Myron Reed, and Jordan Oliver. They talked about their actions and their attack on Brian Pillman Jr. a few weeks ago on the corner of Swenson and Rittner in Philadelphia. They didn't take any responsibility. They said if they had the chance to do it again, they would. So we also heard from Davey Boy Smith Jr., who talked about Brian Pillman Jr.'s condition. He talked about how Pillman Jr. had his jaw wired shut. He has to eat food through a straw. He also talked about how he was meeting with Court Bauer about a possible MLW World Title match against the current champion Jacob Fatu, Jacob Fatu. Yeah, I think that's who it is. Yeah, Jacob Fatu, who is the current MLW World Heavyweight Champion. There was an interview with Konnan talking about what matches he's looking forward to in the Super Series, and he mentioned the match that was the main event of this show, Alex Hammerstone defending the National Openweight title against the Laredo Kid. He would then be interrupted by Injustice, who wanted a Trios Championship match against the current champions, and I'm sorry if I go back and forth. It's just that I'm have to look up these championships. The titles are currently held. The AAA Trios Championships are currently held by Hanetes, the team of El Hijo del Vikingo, Golden Magic / Octagon Jr., and Mestezes Jr. I'm sorry if I'm butchering those names. So Konnan accepted the challenge. So that looks like that's going to be a big match whenever that does happen. We heard from Psycho Clown, who accepted the challenge from last week of LA Park and to face him in a match. And they also talked about what other superstars are going to be in the Super Series, like Davey Boy Smith Jr., Octagon Jr., Tejano Jr., I think it is, Richard Holiday, somebody, I forget who else it was. So that is going to be interesting to see what matches happen down there. Then in the main event, Laredo Kid lost to Alex Hammerstone. So Hammerstone is still the National Openweight Champion. So a really good show this week. I really like this dynamic of which is the better company. Is it going to be AAA or is it going to be MLW? We'll have to wait and see over the next few weeks. Next week, they're supposed to have a tag team match where it's supposed to be Puma King and El Tigre, or El Tiger, versus Tom Lawler and Dominic Garrini. So we'll see what happens with that. I forget there was one other match that they had announced. Please, if I do butcher these names, if I don't even get them right, please let me know in the comments below. I'm really bad with names as far as trying to pronounce them, but it is what it is. So a pretty good show this week. I really like what I've been seeing. I watched last week's show. I watched this week's show. I still have yet to go back and watch the other shows leading up to last week's show, but it is what it is. So I thought this week's show was really good. Of course, it is now. It's 1-1 in the series, and I like the dynamic of a Super Series to see which is the better company, which is the better promotion. So it'll be interesting to see what matches come about in this series. So with that being said, if you guys watched this week's episode of MLW Fusion, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. And who do you guys see winning this series? Do you see MLW winning or do you see AAA winning? So, because both sides have some really good competitors and really good wrestlers. So, I'll leave in the comments below. This has been my recap of MLW Fusion for this week. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.